So who better than to hire Dick Sherman?
I mean, he did the score of the first movie I ever saw, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. That was the first movie my dad took me to. And I remember it. I remember that. And it must have made an impression because I'm making movies. And Richard Sherman was up for doing a song.
Dick Sherman, Small World, all these other Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow, you know, Mary Poppins, all these classic songs. And Dick came over early on, a few months ago, and we started working right here at the keyboard. He was playing the different versions of the theme of his song, and I just, you know, what can you say? You hear it and you just know immediately it's so perfect.
Make way, tomorrow's coming today.
When I listen to Dick's music and his brother Bob, to me, when I hear their music, it's what the world should be.
You know, it's a great
Right?
It's a great
One of the things John and I spoke about early was how much should be more contemporary guitar driven and how much should be a little more conventional orchestral driven. This is the amazing, illustrious
Tom
legend
Morello.
that is Tom Morello.
Here I am.
The first movie, Tom came in and played a bit on that.
Tom's a friend. He's, if not one of the most talented guitarists around. Has a great sound that fits Iron Man. Grew up a tremendous Iron Man fan.
I was a huge comic book fan, collected thousands of comic books, and among them, as a kid, Iron Man was my favorite. I think that, you know, my sensibility as someone who is not a classical composer, you know, John's got all that completely covered and is, you know, one of the best ever at handling that side of it. I think what they wanted from me was some raw guitar playing. It's going to be the experimental rock track. There was a different approach for Iron Man 2 and working with John Debney, putting the electric guitar, meshing the electric guitar with the movie.
I wanted him to be a huge part of the process. I didn't want him to just come in and be a session guitar player. I wanted him to come in, listen to sort of what I was trying to create, come up with ideas. You know, we create it together, kick it back and forth, and he loved the idea. He embraced it.
So this is all C keys. And we're gonna go to right there. So that's one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it'll be fun.
He would come up with ideas that I think were amazing, and we'd throw it up against the picture and see if it would work.
Some of it was trial and error. I would just dial up a guitar sound, look at the screen, you know, factor in the key of the song and the changes, some of which time signature wise are more challenging than the music that I do in my day life.
I ended up having him play in a couple of things were in 7/8 time, which is this really, it's an odd meter.
There was a particularly tricky time signature that I just couldn't get.
More time.
Till finally there's a Pro Tools screen where you can actually visually watch the sound as it goes by.
Does this
Your
help
call.
at all if you can
Yeah,
see
absolutely.
it?
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
There's my piece of paper, baby.
There it is.
All right.
So I had to do it literally by sight and just like watch the little marker as it went down the screen. And when it came to that little blue spike, okay, play there. Some of them are much crazier and mathematical than I'm used to working with, but I was determined to rise to the challenge.
Dude, that's
an exciting.
like Guitar Hero on.
He had a lot of fun with it. He nailed it. I think he enjoyed that.
We're done with the movie. I'm about to do commentary. It hasn't been reviewed. It hasn't come out yet. So I'm a little bit in a vacuum. I have no idea how it's going to be received. Last time the bar was very low, nobody knew what to expect from us. And I don't often get to say it, and I don't know if I'll get to say it next week, but for right now, as we go into the weekend, you're all just, it's very touching, and I appreciate it.
Welcome. Here, thank you very much.
But now people, over 2 years, have Iron Man's a memory, probably better in their minds than it was on the film. And so you're fighting, you know, you're competing, you're fighting against a set of expectations.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a wrap.
There was a feeling in our first Iron Man of taking the subject matter seriously and not taking ourselves seriously. I think the tone was what made the movie win.
Because of the success of Iron Man, Marvel actually had a little bit of stability. You know, everything's changed a lot. I feel like, you know, I landed at Plymouth Rock and got to pick out where the settlement went.
It's very rewarding, but there's also a lot of stress. And there's always this need to top yourself.
When we get into a sequel, that's where we really sort of take the gloves off and go, okay, now it worked, the audience knows us, the audience likes us, and here's what we want to present to them now.
There was not a weak link here, and it's going to show on the screen, and I just want to thank you all with deep gratitude from the bottom of my heart. Thank you all very, very much.
I think it should be the most emotionally impactful. It should be the coolest to watch.
There's some things that I really am looking forward to. Obviously, the climax of the movie, the expo. I want to see how all of that works.
There's so much that I won't know until I see it. By the time I get into the theater, I'm sure I'll be completely blown away by what John and his teams have put together.
I'm really excited to see all the stunts and how that ends up after all of the post-production work.
Every choice that we make is about how we're going to get the audience to respond. Are they going to cheer? Are they going to get chills at this moment?
We worked our asses off just to get Iron Man 2 to a place where it could maybe be on the mantle next to the first one.
Really all working on narrowing in on that character, on that tone that we felt worked as soon as we saw the first movie. So I know one of the really big things as we went into this movie was, let's keep that tone. And that tone is what makes an Iron Man movie. And I think we did that.
What makes it fresh is this sort of perfect storm of creative talents that has come together. It's Marvel, it is Favreau, it's Downey, and the supporting cast.
Working with Robert and Favreau and Gwyneth, it's been a real pleasurable experience.
It was a great experience.
I loved the first movie so much, and so as soon as I heard that there was a possible part in the second installment, I was all over it. You know, I was desperate to be a part of it.
People love Iron Man, and I love Iron because I'm a little bit prejudiced.
We were going to really stay true to what fans enjoyed about the first one, but yet they want bigger and more. So that's always an interesting line to walk.
In this film, it's bigger, better, badder.
Absolutely.
And yet there's so much stuff that we weren't able to fit in here, and now I realize it wasn't time.
I hope this relationship gives us some place to even go further in the next one.
It opens the door to the rest of the Marvel Universe that we're going to explore in our subsequent movies.
We thought about what the big picture would be and what we were leading to. And when we were talking about the first one, I said, you can't do number 3. Number 3 has to be the Avengers.
This is going forward in the Iron Man trilogy and possibly into Avengers. We had to hold something back. So as much as I'm happy and excited with what we were able to do this time, I cannot wait to take the leaps we will, should we be afforded another opportunity.
We found a way to create, I think, a nice, fun tone and personality of the franchise that people seem to want more of. And it's been an adventure making a second one.
Are we at 10 minutes yet? No?
All right, thank you. Now we have to yell cut. All right, good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. I'm Donnie, and that's Marie.
All right, buddy.
Is that all?
I think that's all we have to do.
On the day when we were actually shooting the scene in the lab, Marvel guys, Kevin said, listen, by the way, there's a new line in the scene, which is, you're going to tell them that you're going to New Mexico.
I've been reassigned. Director Fury wants me in New Mexico.
Fantastic. Land of enchantment.
So I'm told.
Secret stuff.
Something like that.
So here I stand in New Mexico, where an anomaly has taken place. Sir, we found it.
The scene is actually derived from the book that I wrote for Marvel Comics. I wanted to show the hammer landing on Earth.
I think we'd prefer that. So then we got double bubble, so we get you sexy and shaded here, you take them off, and it's just a different form of the
People
same.
should pay extra.
When I heard that Ken Branagh was going to be directing, I thought that was just a terrific choice.
Working on a picture is an unalloyed delight. It's an epic adventure, and I wanted to direct a film on that scale.
You look at the artwork that the Thor artists have done over the years. You see what is in the books today in the Joe Michael Straczynski series, and that's never been put on screen before.
They've taken what I created in the comic and given life to it. There's no higher compliment. It's one thing to sit in your room and type, interior crater, there's a hammer lying there, some guy's trying to pick it up. And something else entirely to walk out and see a large crew actually filming that.
We're all hardcore fans. We all want to see the movies and characters we've always fallen in love with, come to life. So that's a real blessing of being a part of the Marvel project. Everybody loves it.
What we're designing now, what we're building with Thor, I think is going to be some of the most spectacular stuff put on screen.